Meanwhile, Putin has a big problem because his friend Donald, who rolled out the red carpet for him in Anchorage and is very eager to make a deal, has nevertheless struck at yet another friend. It was only last year that Russia signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement with Iran, promising to help in the event of aggression by a third country. Now the time has come to stand by those words. Iran's chief diplomat called Lavrov just yesterday, and from what we can tell, he simply expressed his condolences, and that was it. A clear hint for the rest of their partners. Is it really worth relying on such a strategic friend? Meanwhile, Trump is promising powerful bombings, as many as it takes. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Ayatollah's parallel army, is threatening to respond with a series of incredibly harsh strikes. So, how has the Middle East changed over the past day? How might the world change in the coming week? And how will these events affect the war in Ukraine? Special correspondent for TSN, Natalia Yarmola.
From the first missile launches by American aircraft carriers and Israeli planes, only 12 hours passed from then until Trump's triumphant statement about the death of the Iranian dictator Khamenei.
Khamenei, one of the most terrible people in history, is dead. This is justice not only for the people of Iran, but also for all great Americans.
Columns of smoke all over Iran. This is an epic event for humanity. That is exactly what the Americans called the operation. It was prepared for several months. Trump personally monitored it from his residence in Mar-a-Lago. In recent decades, Iran has come very close to creating a nuclear bomb. On June 25th, Trump's operation was supposed to destroy all of Iran's nuclear facilities, where uranium was being enriched. But the exact fate of the underground plants is unknown. For Israel, the US ally in the region, destroying the Iranian regime and its nuclear ambitions is an officially stated matter of survival. For several months, the US and Iran tried to reach an agreement, but they never did. An agreement. So war was inevitable. The US deployed as many as 2 aircraft carriers to the region and, for the first time in history, bombed not only with missiles but also with cheap kamikaze drones. The publication Politico called this a Ukrainian tactic. Israel sent a record number of 200 aircraft into the sky. Dozens of targets were hit. These included command posts of Khamenei's personal army, the IRGC, as well as air defense systems, missile and drone launchers, and airfields. According to Tel Aviv, the preemptive war began at 8:10 in the morning when the entire leadership gathered at the residence of the 86-year-old tyrant Khamenei. According to the Wall Street Journal, 30 aerial bombs were dropped on his residence. Iranian television announces a period of mourning. Iran's response was prepared in advance. Hundreds of missiles, including hypersonic Fatah missiles, are launched at Israel and at the leaders of neighboring Arab countries that provide bases to the US. Kuwait, Bahrain, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. The United States Central Command reported 3 dead and 5 wounded soldiers. The world is seeing footage that is all too familiar to Ukrainians. Iranian Shaheeds are crashing into 60-story skyscrapers. Abu Dhabi and Dubai are in flames. Cities that have always been centers of protected elite life are burning. Places where millions in investments and millions of tourists flow in. Missiles are exploding at the world's largest airports, which serve as the main gateways between the West. The world's reaction is ambiguous. European countries are expressing concern, but without clear statements. France called the escalation dangerous and even convened a UN meeting. There, the US also voiced criticism. Canada expresses its support. China and Russia are hysterically shouting about unjustified aggression and innocent victims. Kremlin propagandists are openly raising questions. Is the Putin regime next?
I have just one question. Will they ever come after us, or have they already started?
Ukraine supports the strike against Putin's strategic partner. Volodymyr Zelensky stated that we are against the regime, but we support the Iranian people. And the official position of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs is as follows.
Assad, Maduro, and now Khamenei. And the fall of Putin is inevitable one day. We must make every effort for this joyful day to come. He has lost 3 of his closest friends in just over a year, and he couldn't help any of them. Not a single one.
For Ukraine, a weakened or even potentially overthrown regime that shares weapons with the Russians, like the Shahids, is an obvious advantage. However, there could be significantly more downsides if the US operation lasts longer than the planned 5 days. First, the world's attention could shift from the war in Ukraine to the Middle East. Second, a shortage of weapons. The Americans will have to replenish their own stockpiles, so obviously, exports will be reduced. Patriot missiles are especially critical for us. We already receive them almost one by one and with significant delays. Third, oil prices react instantly to events in the Persian Gulf. It's all because of this narrow bottleneck, the Strait of Hormuz. About a quarter of the world's oil passes through it. Half of that, including sanctioned Iranian oil, goes to China. But now this corridor has been blocked by Iranian fighters. Attempts to pass through end up like this. And the longer the blockade lasts, the more benefits the Kremlin will receive. China will likely replace sanctioned Iranian oil with sanctioned Russian oil. After India, under US pressure, refused to buy Russian oil, Russia has plenty of unsold barrels. As a result, Putin's depleted wallet, which funds the war against Ukraine, will once again be filled with petrodollars or perhaps petro-yuans. What does the death of the Iranian dictator mean? The death of the regime itself. Unlike his predecessors, Assad or Maduro, where everything revolves around a one-man show, the Iranian regime is capable of recovering quickly. Literally the day after Khamenei's death, there is already a temporary spiritual leader in place, Ayatollah Arafi. Trump is still hoping for resistance as he addressed the great and proud people of Iran.
When we are finished, you will be able to take power into your own hands. This is probably your only chance in a generation.
However, whether the people will rise up after the treacherous silence of the states in response to the shooting of thousands of protesters last December, when the nation was on the verge of overthrowing the regime, remains an open question. But so far in history, there has never been a precedent for a regime to be changed by airstrikes alone. Natalia Yarmola, TSN Week, Marathon, United News.
Donald Trump has already come out with a series of statements about his successes in the war with Iran. He claims they have sunk another 9 Iranian military ships and eliminated 48 Iranian leaders. Right at this moment, a new wave of strikes on Tehran is underway. According to the US president, Iran is already asking for negotiations.